Hi, chat. Hi, chat. Hi.
Hello.
Yippee! I don't have a normal thing I say at the beginning of these, probably because I've only ever done this once. Um,
No spiel?
no spiel. I can improvise something. Um, welcome to Conversations with Kano, if you want to be fancy and specific with it. This is my interview series where I interview someone and ask them a bunch of questions while we color a little drawing I do of us. And this time we have Lio on. Say hi, Lio.
Hello, I am Lio Felis, the part-time PNG tuber, now VTuber.
Yippee! Hell yeah. Okay. I need to make sure I have my list of questions up.
So, how many questions do you have for me? I
I
already know the answer,
have
but why don't you tell the chat?
I have 12 questions. And I actually
Ooh.
don't know. I can't even compare it to how many I had the one other time I did this. Because I don't remember how many. Um, but we might not even get to all 12 of them. Like,
Bet.
I think probably.
Bet.
Depends how much yapping we do.
We shall see, but I want to get to them all, even if we had a speed round this shit.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, I will start us off then with the questions. I'm not gonna go in order. I'm just gonna go with whatever I feel like. Um. Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get
What's a good
started on the
starting one?
coloring too. And I'm gonna say, chat, before you cook me for my coloring choices, I'm not an artist. I don't color. In fact, when I was a kid, I constantly colored outside the lines, so expect that here.
Hell yeah. Lines are just a suggestion, not a requirement.
Also, I had to figure out how to decrease the size of the brush. I've never used sorry, what if I call it magma? That's what this is, magma. I don't even
I
know.
I used to do all of my art in Magma before it was Magma, and before it had brush options. I used to just have one brush, and I would do all of my art in it for years. Okay, to the questions now, God, before I get sidetracked.
I'm figuring it out.
let's let's start on a question about starting. What made you want to start streaming?
Good question. It depends. Do we want the short answer, or do we want the short easy answer, or do you want the more complicated, gut wrenching real answer?
You can give both.
All right, it's not that bad. I'll give you the real answer. So, I'm pretty open about how, my shtick being part-time PNG tuber, I have a full-time job. I'm not going to disclose what I do, but I do have a full-time job. And long story short, last year I was actually working a different job than I do now. And I was in that job for about 4 or 5 years. And it eventually got to the point that I just completely was mentally just kind of shutting down. Like every week I would take like a day off or two just so I didn't have to go in and do the work, basically.
Mhm.
And it eventually got to a point where my mental state was pretty bad, pretty bad. And I knew I had to make a change. So, right off the bat, first thing first, quit that job, found a new one, made less money, but arguably I was happier. But I still had a ways to go on my mental health journey, which is what got me thinking, okay, what brings me happiness in my life right now? And a major one, VTubing. And one of the things that used to make me happy, playing video games, wasn't as effective anymore. So I figured, okay, what's a good way for me to get back and to enjoy video games? Well, if I could share it with more people other than, some IRL friends, who had my back. Because I just wanted to make new friends, honestly. So, short version, I got into VTubing because I wanted to make some new friends, play some games with people, and just kind of reconnect and find joy in my life again. And I'd say, despite being actually, it's almost been a year almost. At the end of this month, it'll be a year. And I
Oh my
think
god,
I've made
hell
some pretty
yeah.
good strides on that.
Hell yeah. That's really cool, actually.
So
That's
yeah,
like
there you go.
so cool.
That's the sappy answer.
That is a really good answer, actually. That is honestly quite relatable. This is supposed to be me interviewing you, but I swear, the other time I did this too, I just ended up yapping about my own answers to the questions too. So I'm totally gonna do that here. But that is honestly very relatable as to why I started doing this. Because especially when you mentioned how you would skip out on a day every week, just because you just didn't want to go and do the work and stuff because it was just too hard on your mental. That is extremely relatable to me, and school all the time. It's not something I talk about a lot. But I had to stop doing in-person school after ninth grade. And since then, I've been trying to kind of catch up on everything over the past couple of years. I'm still doing school stuff. Technically, I should have graduated last year, but I'm still doing it because I kind of just didn't want to do it so much that I just stopped going. And it
Yeah,
was
sometimes
exactly
it could
that.
just
It was
be overpowering.
yeah, it was once a week, and then it got to twice a week, 3 times a week, and then the whole the last year I went to in-person school, I only went the first 2 days, and that was it.
Whoa.
So yeah, I guess one reason why I started streaming in general was to kind of try to get rid of my fear of people in particular, and my fear of talking to people, and my general fear of interacting with others. Because I was like, yeah, I should try to make friends and try to talk to people, and maybe I'll be less scared of it. Maybe I'll actually make friends. And I did, and I think it's going pretty good for me. And it
I'd say
definitely
so.
has helped my mental state a lot. Yeah.
Because yeah, I know that you definitely everyone whenever someone reveals that, oh yeah, I'm old, you're an older person or I'm a younger person, it's always normal to just clown on someone like, haha, you're old. But that, I think that's just kind of the one constant thing is that, a lot of people do struggle to interact with people because it can be really easy and I guess difficult, or what's the point I'm trying to make here? I guess it's hard to know how to really interact with people because not everyone has the same experiences as you or even has the same sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially nowadays, you don't really know what, you could say something completely innocuous and someone would go, what the fuck did you just say to me, you little bitch?
Yep, I've gotten that on a good few occasions.
So it definitely feels like sometimes, especially with new people, you had to walk on eggshells until you can get comfortable enough to realize, wait a minute, they're as much as a freak as I am. I could be
Yeah.
completely open.
Yeah. Definitely. And on the topic of starting out and everything. Next question is it's kind of two in one. Where did
Ooh.
the idea for your name and design come from?
All right. We'll start with the design first because the name kind of comes a little afterwards. So, my name, Lio Felis, it's actually based off of my Final Fantasy XIV character, and I've been relatively open about that since like the very beginning. So basically, what you see here is well, not right now because I'm in my live 2D model, but my regular PNG model that is based off of my Final Fantasy XIV character. So what I wear is basically what I wear in the game. That's basically what I've worn for like the entire journey that I've had for like the last 2 years of that game. And it's actually my second Final Fantasy character, actually. The first one I made was like an Aura, which is like one of like the guys that are like dragon people. And he was like a really tall, kind of twinkish guy. But for whatever reason, I wasn't too attached to him. In fact, I wasn't too attached to him. So I gave him up and I played a new character when Regis Altair and Hollowstars EN started to play Final Fantasy XIV. So I completely switched servers. So in terms of the design, what inspired me to create that type of character, Catboy, is that, well, Catboys are cute.
Hell yeah.
And I definitely based Leo, my design, off of like a lot of my own personal tastes.
I see.
Hence why he's a short king.
Hell
and
yeah.
Let's see. And I think in terms of like the hair color and like highlights, my Oshi Axel Sirius had a lot of influence. So even though it's not like blonde hair, that's where like the red highlights kind of came from. I wanted to emulate that a bit.
Okay.
And let's see. Damn, I'm really trying to figure out how to go down without messing things up. Oh, middle mouse. Makes sense. Oh god, I think I... Okay, we're good.
You got this.
I'm going super slow.
That is totally okay. Take as long as you want.
So, where was I? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the design is basically just whatever I made kind of on a whim that I thought, oh, hey, that looks hot. And as for the name, all right, I debated, like, because I know, like, all those, like, tweets where it's like, oh, explain, like, your VTuber name lore. And I debated, like, putting this information out there earlier, but I was like, I gotta wait for, like, a prime opportunity. So, no better opportunity than now. So, Leo. I just took that off of Leo from Promare because he's really cute.
Okay.
He's a really cute twink, so I went with that for me.
Hell yeah.
Kind of pretty simple, but I mean, who can argue, really? As for Felice, I'll admit, part of me just got lazy, so I just looked up, like, okay, what do you call cats in real life? But I know that a lot of people say, I know that when I raid people, they go, oh, Lio Felis, because I'm pretty sure that's probably how you're supposed to say it. But, you know, in real life, I am of Hispanic descent, so... And when you say Merry Christmas in Spanish, it's Feliz Navidad. So I thought, you know what, let's go for like a dual meaning. So Feliz as in like cat, and also happy. Even though it's Feliz is spelled with a Z. Who cares?
That's really cool.
And I'm kicking
pretty
myself.
Awesome.
I'm kicking myself because last Christmas I didn't make the Feliz Navidad joke I was going to make. So I'm so mad. This year though, it's happening.
Yeah,
this year,
you gotta go all out for it this year. You gotta give it the justice it deserves. For me personally, my name and design story is pretty long. There's not even really a story. It's just like I went through so many different designs and so many different names, but somehow the name Kano always stuck. And I don't know if I even talked about this on the last time I did this, but originally my whole separate persona of Kano wasn't supposed to be a streaming thing. I had made a Twitter account where I would just dump random poetry I wrote under a fake name. So it was just like a poetry pen name.
So it was still like for a creative outlet, though.
Yeah. It just wasn't specifically for the purpose of being a VTuber. Because I know a lot of VTubers specifically, when they come up with like their names and stuff, it's specifically for being a VTuber or being a streamer. Which I guess it kind of turned out to be. But yeah, originally, in some alternate timeline where I didn't change my username 7 times in between, my name would have been Canon Merrick, because that used to be my poetry name. Canon came
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like a Star Wars name. That sounds like a Star Wars name.
There's story. There's story, I swear. The first name, Kennen, that came from my girlfriend at the time was Norwegian. Oh. And the Norwegian word for a rabbit, which is my favorite animal ever, and I make my entire personality, was Kennen. Or Canine, or Cannon, or something like that. And Merrick, I stole from one of the main characters of my favorite piece of media ever, Jay Merrick from Marble Hornets. And then Kennen turned to Kana, and it was Kana for a minute. And I was like, that's too, like... A lot of this is because I felt like the name came off too feminine. Because my whole thing with my design and my name was that I wanted people to be confused on what my gender is. And it worked! It happens a lot. And I felt that was too feminine. So I turned to Kano. And my name for a while was Kano Minerva, and Minerva came from a Deftones song that I used to be obsessed with in 6th grade. Then that turned into, I was like, I kind of want to have like a bit of like my culture in here somewhere. So I was trying to think of all the words that I knew in my like native tribe language, Mi'kmaq, and one of my favorite words is Gesalu, which means I love you. And I was like, it starts with a K, and it sounds pretty good with Kano. So I ended up on the name Kano Gesalu. But I was like, I don't want a first name last name. I want like a username. And then the actual username Kanuin, I was pretty set on for a while. But it went through, I think, 17 different spellings. I had this name spelt like 17 times. And then I ended up with the I and the Y and the N. But there was a
That's
point...
really cool, though.
There was a point where it was spelt...
We nearly had last name perms.
Yeah, I mean, you still do. I mean, the last name is still canon. It is still a thing. Yeah.
If we ever like get like a huge loss in Fortnite, I'm gonna have to just scream that last name, just so you know. You don't even have to mess up. I'll just yell it and I don't know, shift the blame.
Hell yeah.
That's what we call gaslighting. Ooh, maybe that could be your last name, Kato Gaslighter.
Oh my god. I have also told this story on stream a good bit before, but it fits for now too. So before my debut, I was trying to really set on a full name, like first name, middle name, last name. Because I was also kind of dead set on having a middle name for some reason. And one time, or it was like a thing for a while, where Robot would always tell me to like be careful, like in Fortnite and like in games and stuff. And there was one time I made a joke where it was like, "Careful is my middle name," and then I was like, "It isn't, unless it is." And so my canonical middle name, to match with the rest of my name, which was two like letter K's, was going to be Careful spelt with a K. And I was going to be Conwyn Careful Gasalu. And then I wrote the initials, and it was 3 K's, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Ooh.
So
I had to think about that for a second. Ooh.
that's why we got Fortnite, because that was a last minute decision. That was like day before debut. I was like, I need to change the middle name. And that's how Fortnite happened. Because it was genuinely just, this is all I can think of and it would be funny as hell. So that's the lore on that. And basically, I don't know, my
Cancellation averted.
yeah. How my design thing went was, this is actually something I don't get to talk about a lot, but I really like talking about, is my past life, my past streaming stuff, my like whole persona. I had a theme of eyes and like having multiple eyes, and I was like, you know, that's a part of me at this point. I gotta stick with that. So I kept that as my theme, and I kind of kept that as like my part of my design. But then I was like, for my model rigging and stuff, and for just like making my model, I don't want to have to like try to rig a bunch of eyes. So I was like, yeah, there's just gonna be a part in my lore where they just get removed, and that's where my little like scars came from.
It's cool. So it's still part of it. It's just, you know, not the central
yeah,
gimmick, so to speak.
yeah. The feather earring on my design also is a nod to like my culture, and me being fully First Nations Mi'kmaq, because that is a big cultural thing. Is like beaded feather earrings, and my feather earring on my model does have little beads on it, and each little bead is a color that represents like one of my like friends that I had like at the time of making my design.
Aww.
So that's just like a cool little thing. I've kind of been always set on the hair color. And speaking of hair, short hair redeem time. There we go.
Go.
Hair color, I have always been set on. In every single draft of my design, I have always had this dark pink hair. Eye color has also always stayed consistent. But originally, so like my design in general, like my whole theme has gone through a lot of changes. I went from being a robot to a vampire to a lab-created creature. And actually, when I first joined Temperodon and first started playing on the Minecraft server and stuff, when I first met a lot of you guys, my persona and my whole everything was still the like the vampire theme, and then
Really?
I changed it. Yeah, and I've talked about this a lot on stream, how the whole thing of lab created creature came from a joke that an old friend made, where he would frequently, I only found it after, like he only told me after that it was actually him insulting me, and I thought it was just a funny joke, but no, it was actually just him insulting me. saying that
Oh,
I was like if a lab-grown homunculus tried to be human, and I was like, that would be kind of banger lore. So I did that.
I mean that's
Yeah.
pretty good. That's pretty mature because like I feel like if I heard that I'd be like, "What the fuck did you just say about me, you little bitch?" But you were like, "Damn, that's fire lore."
Yeah, yeah, and I own up to it. Like this is like my whole thing now. Yeah, that's
You know, I bet that
that kind of went on
I
for
bet
longer than I
whoever
thought, but
said
yeah.
that pulls up Twitch, sees your stream, and just goes, "What the shit?"
He knew too. He knew that I was going to like use it as like my lore because I told him I was like, man, it would be kind of funny if I did that like as a joke. Like that would be so funny if I did that as a joke. And then I was like, no, I'm actually gonna do this. Um, and he was like, you're turning like an insult into like your actual thing, and that's when I realized he was actually insulting me. He just told me. Yeah. Connor, you have such a positive mindset. I only do when I can't understand social cues.
I may be stupid.
Yeah, I may be stupid. Okay, let me look at my questions again.
Take your time. I'm still working on your hair.
That is fine. You can take your time all you want. We literally only have made it through 2 questions so far, so I guess 12 was more than enough. Um okay, let's go off like outside of streaming questions. Just random ass questions. What is the weirdest injury you've ever had? Like one that just has a weird story.
Let's see. I gotta think about this one. Because let's see, one came to mind, but it's not really weird. It's more like a traumatic story, honestly. So I don't know if I want to tell that one.
All right, you can tell whatever you want. It's
Let me
all up to
think.
you.
Weird injury. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'll give like 2 lighthearted ones.
Okay.
So let's see. The first one was like when I was like a kid, and okay, so when I remember this one time when I was a kid, we ordered like I think it was like cinnamon sticks from Pizza Hut, and of course those sticks come with like the little like thing of icing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you've had cinnamon sticks before, right?
I have not actually.
Okay, so they're basically just like sticks of bread that are just sweet. They got like little cinnamon topping, and then they come with like little icing packets that you just dunk it in for like extra sugar. You know,
Okay.
fat American stuff.
Okay.
So basically, we had these cinnamon sticks from like the previous day, and you know, being a stupid child, I was like, I want cinnamon sticks. So, you know, I put the cinnamon sticks in the microwave. I put the packet of icing in there. And because I'm a stupid kid, I put it in for like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. So, cinnamon sticks come out. They're hot, but I let them cool for a bit. But then I go right for the icing. So, when you heat sugar, it gets extremely hot.
It does. Yeah.
So I stuck my finger in there, and next thing I know, I'm screaming in pain, and I'm rushing to the sink to like wash my hand to cool it off. And next thing I know, I got like a big ass like blister on my finger.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that taught me never to heat the icing again. So
Yeah.
that's one injury. And second injury is one time when I was in middle school, I was like in the middle of like the hallway at school. And I honestly don't quite remember what happened, but something happened. I lost my balance, or I got like pushed or shoved or something. And instead of falling like, normally, normally you just put your hands and arms out to kind of break your fall. What I do is I put like my middle finger out,
Oh my god.
and all of my body weight is like flexing on my middle finger, and I like sprain it for like a week.
Oh my god.
Like, fortunately, it didn't break or anything like that. It was just strained. But the fact that it was my middle finger, of all things, is kind of funny in retrospect.
That is. That's kind of fire, actually. I what's my weirdest injury? I okay. I was this was around 2016, 2015 when Naruto running was like a big funny haha meme. And I was at like this like hiking place, and the path was entirely gravel,
Oh,
and there
I
was
can
a
see where this is
part
going.
where you go straight downhill. Like, it's pretty much like you're fucking walking off a cliff. It's straight downhill and all gravel. And fucking like 10-year-old Kano was like, it would be really funny if I did the Naruto run down this steep gravel hill. I did. I fell, slid like 5 feet.
Oh.
My entire left leg was nothing but tiny little scrapes with rocks like stuck in them.
Oh.
And it was like my entire fucking leg. And it, for how tiny those scrapes were, there were a lot of them, and they were like deep. So it bled a ton, and it looked horrible when it was healing over. That entire summer, I had countless people ask me what the hell happened with my leg, and I had to tell them that I was running down a steep hill like an idiot, and I fell. I still have a lot of the scars on my leg, but it makes for good story. Like, it's funny as hell. It makes for good story.
That it does. Like, I'm cringing hard listening to that.
Yeah.
Because, like, scrapes, like, they're the worst. Like, it doesn't, like, it's not, like, that big of a deal unless it, like, gets infected, but it hurts like a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like in the summer. That was like directly after school had ended.
Okay, I can't believe I forgot about this one. Okay, third story.
Okay.
Okay, so a couple years ago, an IRL friend of mine, who's actually in the chat right now, we both went down to Los Angeles. This was like back in 2016, and the reason I mention that is because we went to go see an Overwatch League game. Because Overwatch League is pretty much dead right now. Much like Overwatch. Heyo! Anyways, the point is, we went to go see an Overwatch League game, and we're leaving to go into the parking lot. And as we're like in the parking lot, it's dark, so I don't see that I'm about to like trip over like one of the little parking things. That way the car doesn't like go past the spot.
Mm-hmm.
I trip on one of those, I scrape my knee, and I'm like, damn it, Los Angeles is trying to kill me. Yeah, we went to the Blizzard Studios in Burbank, which I don't even know if that exists anymore. They probably sold it off for money or something. Who knows?
Hell yeah.
I remember kind of being dragged to that, and I mean, the game was fun, but I'm not an Overwatch person. So
Mhm.
so while the vibe was fun, it wasn't something I really wanted to do. So the fact that I got a scrape on the knee after that, I was like, okay, I'm fucking done with this shit. Get me out of here.
Yeah,
So yeah, thanks,
understandable.
buddy.
That is funny. I'm trying to think if I have any other weird ones. That's the first one that comes to my mind, though. Naruto running down a fucking hill. I haven't I haven't been injured much ever in my life, even as a kid. Like even as a tiny kid. Um, I've always kind of been extremely terrified of getting hurt, even the tiniest amount. Um, so I kind of never really been injured much.
Yeah, I was pretty much an indoor kid. Like, I never really did outdoor things. Like, my good idea of a day was like to stay inside and play like GameCube and Xbox,
Hell yeah.
and then eventually go on the internet and watch YouTube videos.
Hell yeah. Yes, that can lead us into our that of course yep, that can definitely lead us into our next question. What is your favorite game of all time?
Oh god, that's a hard question. Ooh, oh
I know
god,
you have
it's
your years of experience with games. Totally me calling you old.
what the fuck.
So you know, in all of your time,
Okay, is it
what's been
cheating
your
if I like list multiple answers?
Go ahead.
Okay, so okay, that's still gonna be hard because I had to like go by like genre. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, well, I guess we'll go with probably one of the. I guess my first answer will be probably what I've spent the most time playing, at least on Steam, at least.
Okay.
And this is on my main Steam account, so the one that you're added to, that's not my main.
Okay. I kind
So
of
my
figured
main
because you have
Steam
like no
account,
games on that one.
yeah, I family share from my regular account.
I thought so.
So my favorite shooter of all time would be Team Fortress 2, and that is a banger. And I need to like try and actively organize like a collab for that because there's so many different things we can do. Have you heard of TF2, Kano? Team Fortress
I
2?
have. I had a friend a while back that really made it their entire life goal to get me into that game. But I never actually tried playing it.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'd totally be down though. Like I'd totally be down to try it sometime.
Good, good. I'll put you down as interested because
Hell
the
yeah.
main reason I really like Team Fortress 2 is that, it's got that cartoony art style. They're doing it before Fortnite, so it was like really appealing to younger me. And also the fact that, if you blow someone up, they turn into a bunch of exploding giblets is also really fun.
Hell yeah.
Like just playing, I just had multiple days of like playing Soldier, Scout, Pyro, all that. But also the modding scene is insane. Like they've made like custom game modes. Like someone made like a game mode that's just WarioWare from, Nintendo,
Yeah.
but it's in Team Fortress 2, and I want to get like a group playing that because that shit is insane.
That sounds fire. That sounds hella
And then there's
cool.
also the co-op mode, man versus machine. That is oomph, chef kiss.
Okay.
So that's my answer for my favorite shooter game. In terms of like RPG, I'm gonna be honest, RPGs aren't really my thing because I used to play a ton of Pokemon when I was a kid, and I was bad at it. And this is before they had like experience share and all the easy things that made it super easy that like nowadays. When I played Pokemon back in the day, I only leveled up my starter, and that's it. If you weren't my starter, you were just fodder so to die so I could heal my starter and have them win. So,
Hell
but
yeah.
nowadays, I've come to appreciate JRPGs a lot more. But if I had to pick my favorite, I'm not a huge Final Fantasy person. I've only recently gotten into it, like within the last couple of years. So I haven't played any of the classics at length to make an opinion, but what I really like is the Xenoblade series, specifically
Ooh.
Xenoblade 2.
Okay.
Like, there's something about that game that kind of just hits on an emotional level. Like, it hits different. And a lot of people shit on it because it's got like it's super anime. Like if you have like no tolerance for anime bullshit, you're gonna hate Xenoblade 2. But I eat that shit up on a daily basis. I love it.
Hell yeah. I've heard of it, but I haven't actually seen like anything of it really ever. Like I am with most games. I am not. I'm surprisingly not a games person at all. That's why there's very few games I really like, is because I'm really not much of a games person. But I think that's really just because I haven't found many I can really get into. Um, so yeah, like many games, I've heard of it, don't know anything about it.
So that's my pick for favorite RPG. I'm trying to think of like every other genre that exists. Oh, okay. A big thing that I really like, visual novels.
Ooh.
So stuff like Steins Gate, Ace Attorney, Danganronpa counts as well, technically. But my all-time favorite, Zero Escape, specifically 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. I will shill for that game non-stop because it's a fantastic story. And all right, here's where I'm gonna get a little toxic. Frankly, I always get miffed when people talk about how good Danganronpa is. Like, I'm not gonna shit on Danganronpa because I do enjoy it quite a bit, but whenever I see people talk about Danganronpa, I'm like, Zero Escape is right there, bro. It's right there. I feel like
I've never even heard of Zero Escape before.
okay, so there you go. This is the part where I'm gonna shill 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors to you. All right.
Okay.
So imagine, so the basic premise is you wake up and you find yourself on a ship that's sinking. And you're basically put into a death game where you have to like solve puzzles and basically seek a way out. That's all I'm going to give you.
Okay.
But it is probably one of the best stories in gaming. Like, I remember playing that for the first time and I was like, I have been eternally changed by this story. And then the sequel is like almost as good. But then the third one kind of shits the bed in a couple ways, but it's still enjoyable.
Okay.
But I figure if you like Danganronpa, I think you'd like Zero Escape.
Cool. I will keep that in mind and possibly look into that in the future because I do need more games to get into.
I will say that it is like, so it's like part visual novel, but it's also got escape room segments where you have to like solve the puzzles and escape the room.
Okay.
And some of those puzzles are bullshit. So if you get stuck, don't feel bad. Just follow a guide like I did.
Okay. Hell yeah. I just suck at puzzles in games in general. I'm not very good with things that require brain power. It's not really my strong suit.
Yeah, I know sometimes like I just don't want to think. Like there have been a couple visual novels I've wanted to play, but I just be so tired and it's like, I don't think I could do this right now.
Mm-hmm. And while I say that puzzle games are not my strong suit and I kind of suck at them and whatever, escape rooms. I did an escape room IRL with my family once, and I ain't even gonna lie, I did half the work. I don't know
But did you
how.
escape though?
Yes, because of me.
Nice.
I don't know how. I guess I just locked the hell in. I don't know what kind of escape room demon possessed me there. But dude, I was goated. But put me in a puzzle game and I ain't got a clue what to do. I'm gonna sit there confused.
I did an escape room with my IRL friends a while back because one of them was getting married, and one of the things he wanted to do for like the bachelor party was, oh, let's go do an escape room. And you know, being a zero escape player, I was like, all right, we're gonna nail this shit, and we did actually. We got it pretty good.
Hell yeah.
And it was like one of the harder ones that they had too. Like we could have picked an easier one, but no, we went straight for the hardest one.
I don't remember the one we did. I don't remember. I think it was like a mid-level difficulty. It wasn't super easy, it wasn't super hard. I think it was like a mid-level one. Looking back at the list of questions now.
Let's see. Let me think if I can think of like one more favorite game. I'm trying to think of a genre I haven't hit yet. Let's see. I covered shooter, RPG. What other genres are there? I'm blanking right now. You know, it shouldn't be this difficult. I love video games. It shouldn't be this hard for me to think of like a couple different ones.
That is totally okay. You can take as much time as you want. If it helps, I can mention my couple favorites of all time.
Sure.
Let me think.
Let me guess. One of them is Wobble Dogs.
Yes. I was gonna say, obviously, it's like, it's a given. Wobble Dogs and Fortnite. I still genuinely don't know why I love Wobble Dogs so much. And I've loved it for years. Like, ever since, like, I first saw a YouTube video on it, like, years ago. I've loved that game. And I don't know why, something about it is just... It just resonates with me. I love just making, like, fucked up little creatures that progressively get more fucked up. It's awesome. Fortnite, it's honestly just, I feel like it's one of the very few, maybe the one game that I just keep coming back to and never really get bored of. There was times I have played it for like hours on end and days on end, just fucking playing Fortnite for 12 hours straight. I have done that too many times. But yeah, obviously Wobble Dogs and Fortnite.
I'm not gonna lie. I used to be like I think I mentioned this before. I used to be the biggest Fortnite hater of all time.
Really?
And the only yes, like there was a time where I would be like, "Oh yeah, Fortnite, that's a baby game. Only babies play Fortnite." and because this was back before Zero Build existed, so I remember trying it out, and I got filtered because I couldn't build for shit,
And
only like the Zoomers could master it. I was like, I don't got time for this shit. This game sucks. But what ultimately changed it for me was 2022 when they added Goku. And once I remembered, oh, there's Zero Build now, so I guess, you know what, I'll play Fortnite for Goku, why not? And I was honestly surprised at how much the game had kind of changed in the couple of years I had played it. Like, it was much more polished, the guns felt better, the gameplay felt better, and just blasting people with a Kamehameha, priceless.
Hell
so that's how I got into it, and that's how I got suckered into it. And honestly, yeah, it's enough to change my opinion on the game completely.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I am no longer a certified Fortnite hater. But but now I've just transferred all that energy to hating Apex Legends. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's probably fun, but every time I see VTubers play it, it runs like shit.
I see.
And it looks like shit too. Like, how the fuck do you aim at people? They're fucking ants. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop there. Oh, and Valorant too. I'm a Valorant hater.
Yeah, I also don't like Valorant. I think like my reason for hating Valorant though isn't because of the game itself. It's just because I have never in my life ever met a single Valorant player that wasn't an absolutely horrible person. It's just the players that ruined it for me, because I there's some people I know, like some of my friends played Valorant like a little bit, like had a week or two where they played it sometimes. Never in my life met a like actual like someone that would call himself a Valorant player that was actually a decent person.
Ooh, powerful words.
That's why I hate Valorant. That is why I will deter everyone I know from Valorant. It's because I'm like I've never known a single good person that played that game.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right here, right now. I am never, ever touching Valorant. Not because the only reason I dislike Valorant is because it's like Counter-Strike. You die once, you don't get to play the game for like 5 minutes. I hate games like that. Which is also kind of the reason why I have a complicated relationship with stuff like Lethal and Repo, but it's fun with friends, so it gets a pass. Valorant and CSGO, or I guess CS2 as it is now, doesn't get that pass.
I see.
It's like video game rage bait is what it is. That's my hot take for the stream.
Okay. I'm hearing you out here. I love how we had that little conversation and the chat has been most active it has been the entire stream. I start shitting on Valorant and everyone's like, hey, hold up a minute.
Are we wrong? Are you not entertained?
I'm sure not all Valorant players are horrible people. I'm just saying I've had my fair share of not ever knowing a single good person Valorant player. Yeah. Hashtag not all Valorant players.
I've turned this question from favorite video games to most hated video games.
What would be my most hated video game, if not Valorant? Trying to think. I don't think there's any game that I personally have played that I've really didn't like. Maybe if I thought long and hard enough. But nothing immediately comes to mind. Sometimes you meet cool people and sometimes you meet assholes. Yeah, I just kind of every Valorant player I know has been horrible.
Well, if we're gonna continue with games I hate, I already talked about how I don't like Overwatch, which kind of ironic since I actually do kind of like Marvel Rivals. Like I've gone like in streams before, I've gone on rants about what I call Blizzard map design and how it's awful. Like,
See.
long story short, it's like the way they make maps in Overwatch, there's a ton of like spots in like hallways that don't go anywhere. Like, what's the point? The whole point of these maps is to like do the objective. So why have locations that don't serve any purpose to the objective or even have like healing items or anything like that? It's pointless. Fucking Blizzard. I hate Blizzard.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're giving very passionate answers to these questions.
Perhaps it's time to move on.
Also, I saw Buzzy Pumpkin what you said in chat about hating Dead by Daylight, and I have to ask why. This is like the second time the entire stream I've acknowledged a chat message. I just need to know why you hate Dead by Daylight. I played it twice ever. So I don't really have that much of an opinion on it, because I've only ever played it twice. All caps, Dead by Daylight is shit. Okay, thanks for the info.
Damn.
It's so imbalanced.
I've invited such a toxic atmosphere. I'm sorry, Kano.
No, it is totally okay. But it also suffers from the toxicity from players. I have only ever known like 2 Dead by Daylight players. Truth is video games suck. Truth is specifically online multiplayer video games suck because the people who play those suck most of the time. That's my hot take for the stream.
Damn.
And while we're on the topic of shooter games, I just want to bring up this one Roblox game called Arsenal that is actually a surprisingly really fucking good shooter game, and I love it. Have never in my life gotten above 3rd place in that game. I got 3rd place in it for the first time the other day. And I've been playing that game for years. And I got 3rd place for the first time ever the other day. Never once have gotten above 3rd. Before that, had never really gotten above 4th. But I absolutely love it, and I will play it for hours on end. Like, so much. I love that game. Even though I'm dog shit at it. And it's like an actual, like, fun game, too. Like, yeah, I just like it. Like, there's not even any, like, specifics. It's just, I like it. It doesn't rely on, I think the main reason why I like it is it doesn't rely on communicating with your team. And it's not one of those games where it's like, if a couple people on your team don't know how to play, your entire team, like, fails miserably and whatever. Because it's like, even though, like, the game modes are like teams, still individual people get 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So it's not entirely team-based. I think that's why I like it so much.
I have never played Roblox at all. And to be honest, I don't really have any incentive. I feel like now that my Fortnite hate is gone, it's kind of seeped. It hasn't really seeped into Roblox. I don't have anything negative to say. It's just that I think it's fair to say I'm not the target audience.
I want to try to drag you into playing Roblox now.
It's possible. Never say never, but
there's a lot of
drink
Roblox
beforehand?
games. If it'll make you play it, then sure.
Can I have a? I'll have a strong 0, and I'll try not to get canceled. I mean,
you
what?
know what? Sure. I could
I'm gonna go
literally
on.
like make an entire list of Roblox games that I feel like you would genuinely enjoy. Because there is a lot of Roblox games that don't seem like they would be Roblox games. Like there is a lot that are like actual like good just games in general.
I think what taints it is that I've always seen like all the VTubers just play Dress to Impress. It's like I've seen enough.
Yeah. There's more Roblox games out there. Zephy says Roblox is almost exactly like Fortnite for me. It needs to have that one thing that will draw me in. That and friends that will drag me in. I think Zephy, I think you need to play Roblox.
Oh, don't drag him into this.
I will. I'll drag everyone into
Oh
it.
no. Run, run, you fools.
I just need to do like a shit ton of Roblox streams now. Just drag my entire chat into Roblox. Roblox horror is surprisingly good? Yes. I played one Roblox horror game ever in my life, and I got the first 2 minutes. I got so scared I had to leave the game. But also, I just don't do good with horror games, and I get really scared really easily. But Roblox horror games are actually incredibly well made. A lot of Roblox games in general are incredibly well made.
Alright, I got one final answer for like favorite games. Because I just remembered I played a ton of VR games. Because I have a VR headset, as you know, because we did Phasmophobia, and I did it in VR that one time.
That was hella fun.
So yeah, I really like VR. It's just a shame that it's kind of stagnated in the last couple of years. Mostly because of like fucking Facebook kind of taking a good chunk of the market and all that stuff. But I don't want to get into that. But one of my favorite VR games is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. And it's basically like a survival game where you play as a survivor and you basically have to go around New Orleans and you have to like loot stuff, and then they have like quests. Like it was actually a really fun experience. And let me tell you something, putting that headset on and going into like a dark ass room with like a flashlight that you had to like power by shaking it every couple minutes, and then you turn around, there's a zombie and it does a little sting. That's terrifying.
That sounds very terrifying.
But is it so goddamn fun? I highly recommend it. That is like the peak of like what a good VR game should be. And honestly, nothing has quite hit that level for me since. And I'm disappointed by that.
I see. Okay. That's really cool.
So I definitely want to try and do VR games, but it takes a lot to organize, but I think I could get to it someday.
I have never experienced a VR game before. I want to at some point, but VR headsets are expensive. And
Yeah,
I don't have that much of an interest in it.
That's true. All right, should we move on to next question, or?
Yeah. Let's move on to next question. We've done a good bit of like for realsies serious ones. So I'm gonna hit you with if you were a fish, what kind of fish would you want to be?
Does that have to be a real fish?
Ooh, that's a good question. No, it does not have to be a real fish. You can give me any fish.
I want to be Sidon from Breath of the Wild.
I don't know what that is.
Hang on, let me see if I can. Let me Google him real quick. And I'll send it to you in Discord, and then maybe you could like just shove it onto the stream real quick. There you go, this will work. Alright, this is Sidon.
Oh. That's that's a fish?
He's a fish person.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put that on screen. This guy. Fish guy. Oh, I just started moving you instead of the fish. Fish
Yeah,
guy,
I
I say as I grab Leo by the neck.
Yeah, I want to be him.
Honestly, I fuck with that. I like the colors. I fuck with that. Is there a particular reason why you'd want to be him?
Let's just say I've read a lot of doujinshi.
Okay, I see.
And let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah, we can leave it at that.
Link is a very beautiful man.
I see. I ask people that question a lot. If there were to be any if they were to be any fish, what fish would they be? I don't know shit about fish. I don't know different species of fish. I don't know shit about fish. I don't know. My go-to answer would probably be a trout, just because I think it's funny. Or like, what would I actually be? I like anglerfish, the ones with the little light on them. I like anglerfish. They're ugly as fuck though, but they have a cool concept.
They are really ugly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like an actual fish I could give for like an actual answer.
I feel like
Honestly,
you'd be like.
I can't think of a.
Hmm.
I can't think of like a proper fish, so maybe I'll just cheat and say I want to be like, hang on, let me Google this real quick. I want to be like a freshwater eel. That way, when I die, I can turn into delicious unagi.
Ooh. That's
Because
a good answer.
I really like unagi. I had like a couple really nice unagi bowls when I was in Japan, and now whenever I see like unagi at a restaurant, I have to order it.
Hell yeah. Zephy says Leo can just be a catfish.
Shut up.
If I were to if I were to assign you a fish, you would be. I feel like you give like oarfish. Are they even do those even count as fish? Basically, they're like huge, really long sea creatures. They're huge and they're like 10 feet long or something like that. I may be wrong. I need to look up the size of an oarfish now because I feel like I just lied to everyone. I feel like I just lied to my people.
Gaslighter.
And also, are they even fish? Okay, they are fish.
Damn. Guess I'm that now.
Oarfish are large and extremely long
Police?
pelagic
Pelagic?
what the fuck is that word? Anyway, long fish.
Oh yeah, and if we're going with like another joke answer, hang on.
Oarfish size. Okay, I was wrong about 10 feet. 36 feet. These fishes are huge.
Alright, and if we're gonna go with like another joke answer, here's another fish guy. Specifically the fish guy from Shape of Water.
Oh. That
Because he looks cool.
sure is A fish guy? I'm gonna put this on screen for you guys chat. This guy. Ignore how it's just not cropped and I just dragged a browser source in. I'm putting it over Leo's face. You know, he can just be the fish guy.
Hey, I'm a fish. What are you gonna do about it?
That's exactly what I would say if I was a fish. Hey, I'm a fish.
Shape of Water is a really good movie. I highly recommend it.
I've never heard of it.
Hey, it won Best Picture in 2017.
Ooh. Hell yeah. Also, yeah, oarfish can be 36 to 56 feet. So I was wrong about 10 feet. It was, in fact, way larger. Yeah. Okay. Next question. That was enough about fish.
That's a lot of fish. I'm gonna show you that video later.
Okay. If you were to meet any celebrity, which celebrity can count as like anything, if you were to meet any celebrity, who would it be, and like what would you say to them?
Let's see. Well, I am a pretty big Star Wars fan, so someone from Star Wars would be pretty high on my list. I'd have to figure out who, though. Actually, no. Easy answer is Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's my easy answer. The guy that plays Luke Skywalker in Star Wars.
Okay.
Because I really like Star Wars. It's basically my favorite movie franchise. And I really like... my favorite Star Wars movie... I'm honestly a little embarrassed saying this because it's not what most people say their favorite is. Most people say, oh, I like Empire Strikes Back, or, oh, no, I like Revenge of the Sith, or something like that. No, I love Return of the Jedi for some reason, which is the 6th movie. It has a very special place in my heart, despite how goofy and kid-friendly it gets. Because that iteration of Luke, played by Mark Hamill, is like peak.
Okay.
So I'd want to meet Mark Hamill, but I honestly don't know what I'd ask him.
Understandable. Okay.
I'd have to like figure something out.
I don't know if I would even have an answer for this one. Because I don't know. I do have an answer. If I were to meet any celebrity, I would probably meet Markiplier, just so I could ask him, if I were to push him down a flight of stairs, would he slide like a mattress or fold like a slinky? Because I'd like to know. I'd like to know if Markiplier thinks he's a mattress or a slinky guy. Yeah.
I fully expect to get asked that question later, too. I'm prepared.
We'll see, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Next question. This was actually, for context, number 1 on my list of questions. The first question I wrote. When I sat down and started thinking, man, what questions would I want to ask Lio to interview him? First question on my list. Do you remember 9/11?
Oh my god. That's a good one. Bravo. Bravo. I asked for hard-hitting questions and you fucking delivered. Holy shit. Okay. Holy hell. Alright. Disappointing answer, but no. Because follow-up question: how old do you think I am?
I, I don't know. Old enough to remember? I don't know.
Certainly not. So, yeah, no, I don't have any memories of 9/11.
Wow.
I'm not, because I think, let's
Can't
see,
believe
I
it.
was,
I don't remember the tragedy.
yeah, you know, especially since they say never forget. Well, who gives a shit at this point? Fuck it. Let's see. Let me think. Let me do some quick math. When 9/11 happened, I think I was, let's see, probably like 6.
That's old enough to remember, maybe?
All right, here's the supplemental. My memory is garbo. Like something could happen like a month ago and I'm not going to remember it. So if something happened when I was 6, you could be sure as shit I don't remember. The only thing I remember is like trauma.
Understandable.
So yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint, but the answer is no.
Man, that's okay. You know, it was worth a try. You know, it was worth a try. Okay. Moving
I
on
love
from
that question
9/11.
though.
And you know,
I wish we moved on from 9/11. That's what I wish.
does Kano remember 9/11? I want you to take a wild guess. Do I give the vibes of someone who would remember 9/11?
Well, you talk about it a lot, so
I
clearly
do.
it has
I do.
some sticking value in your mind.
I got really hyper fixated on 9/11 for years. And honestly, I still do watch 9/11 documentaries like how like white women watch like rom-coms. I sit down with a bowl of popcorn, I watch that shit and I eat that shit up. And the next day, I will get into a VC and tell someone 9 new facts I learned about 9/11.
See, did you watch that like romance movie where in the end Robert Pattinson dies because he was on the tower on 9/11?
I did not know that was a thing.
Okay, I'll have to show it to you later because that shit is funny as fuck. Because it's like a normal romance movie, and then the last bit, oh, he was on the tower, he died.
That sounds fire. Wait, that sounds like peak cinema. 9/11 was her Kardashians. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know that when 9/11 happened, there was so many like like rules of protocol that were broken by like the like aviation
the
companies?
terrorists?
No. No, like airports. So when something happens, there's like this big like it's kind of like a flow chart, I guess, of like slowly going up like higher ups. Like they would report it to these group of people that would report it to like the other more higher up ones and the ones higher up from them, and it would go up like 6 or 7 times until it reaches like the big people that deal with it. But for 9/11, airports like directly contacted the like higher up US military, which they were not under any circumstances supposed to do. But they did. And they responded because they knew how much of like how big of a situation it was. And so if those rules of protocol were not broken, there likely would have been a lot less immediate action taken to 9/11.
Yeah, imagine. Goodbye, Pentagon, I guess.
Yeah.
Goodbye, White House.
Yeah. Yeah. Kano's going to share her top 10 9/11 facts. I can't think of 10 off the top of my head, but if I could, I would.
Okay, so before we move off the 9/11 tangent, I actually have a funny thing that happened a while back.
Okay.
So, I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm at work.
Okay.
No, mostly I listen to Star Wars audiobooks, but I decided to switch it up a while back because I checked out because I like to go to I like to use the resources of the public library.
Okay.
So you can
Based.
actually check out audiobooks digitally here. So I was listening to Reggie Fils-Aimé, who was the CEO of Nintendo of America like a couple of years back, and listening to like his autobiography thingy. And basically, there's an entire chapter where he talks about his 9/11 story, and it just took me out of it. Like, I was like, whoa. That's it. I just wanted to share that little tidbit.
Hell yeah.
Like, one minute he's talking about quirky Nintendo stories, and he's like, on 9/11. And I'm like, whoa.
The non-American teaching the American about 9/11. Ironic. I have taught so many people so much about 9/11. Specifically Americans.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't learn.
I'm sure, like, that's still sticking on the topic of 9/11. I'm sure you've heard of the 9/11 to the fall of the Ellen Show pipeline.
Okay. No.
Okay, let's see if I can remember this off the top of my head, because this is really fucking long and it's complicated, so I'm gonna see if I can remember this. 9/11.
I wish I had some popcorn right now.
9/11. The lead singer of the band My Chemical Romance, Gerard Way, witnesses 9/11, which kind of he's like talked about before, where it like kind of made him realize, life isn't permanent, and you need to do things while you can. So he makes a band. This band gets huge. So huge that people like the band. I don't know. And fuck, I'm trying to think. The Twilight books get made. And the Twilight books, like some character in it was like heavily influenced by Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance. And the Twilight books ended up being made into like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or a couple movies or something. And
like 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah, okay. The writer of the books wanted Gerard Way to play in the movie, like to play a character in the movie, like to act in it. But he said no. And then she was like, well, your band can do like a song for it. And he said no. But they did end up making, this is kind of off topic, kind of off the whole thing here, but they did end up making a song about being asked to make a song for Twilight, that was just about saying no to making a song for Twilight. Anyway. So, there's, I don't remember, I gotta look this up, if she's an actor in Twilight, or the other movie I may have to bring up. What has she been in? Okay, no, okay. There was fanfic made for Twilight that ended up getting turned into the movie 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. I know that story.
And there is an actor in 50 Shades of Grey, Dakota Johnson, and she like spoke out about her experience on Ellen, which led to like Ellen just like canceling her entire show.
Because I think it
So
was more than that. Because it was like there
yeah,
was
it
like
was like a
all this
lot
like
of people.
behind the scenes
Yeah,
harassment too.
yeah. So that is the 9/11 to the fall of the Ellen Show pipeline. This shit is like my
Oh my
Roman
God.
Empire.
That's an iceberg right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah, Zephy, I thought you said fun fact Gerard Way is the one who created Penny Parker. Gerard Way is also the one that created the Netflix show The Umbrella Academy, which surprisingly a lot of people don't know that, but he is actually he wrote and like he made the original Umbrella Academy comics that got turned into the show. Yeah. I know he made Umbrella Academies. It's surprisingly like I wouldn't say it's little known, it's very well known, but surprisingly there are some people that don't know.
I just know all the memes, like the one where Elliot Page is looking at the other dude in the car.
Yes, yes. Gerard Way has done a lot of side quests in his life. He made a song with Deadmau5 in like 2005. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a noteworthy side quest of his. I was also, this is completely fucking off topic. I've talked about this on stream a couple times before. When I was 10 years old, I was totally delusionally convinced that Gerard Way was my biological father.
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be fair, it's a lot of weird coincidences. I'll give it that. These are whack-ass coincidences. But also, that man is not my father.
You know, there's this show we had or have. I actually don't remember. It's still running. So I don't know. Have you heard of like Jerry Springer or Maury?
No.
So basically, it's these types of like trashy reality TV shows where it's like some guy who like does like shitty TV, like not even therapy, but it's like you just call it like shitty TV therapy. And like one of the things that Maury does is they do paternity tests because like they go on the show to see if like the kid is theirs or not. So on Maury, they do the thing where like you are not the father, and then you get these guys who are going, yeah, I'm not the father, and then the mom's like,
Oh
that type of trashy.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some things like that. Like heard of and seen clips of. Yeah.
So
you know what? I'll also go
maybe
through.
in an alternate universe, you could have been on that.
Yeah. I'll also go through the reasons I had. For one, I guess most obvious thing here, I do not know my biological father. For two, my grandfather's middle name is Gerard. Three, there was an unreleased My Chemical Romance song from the year I was born that was titled My Birth Name that is lines up eerily similar with the first year of my life. Just like what it was about and stuff. I was almost named after a My Chemical Romance song. And my mom was just a huge MCR fan. I feel like that might have been it. But I also feel like there was more. But yeah. That's a lot of coincidences. I do not blame you. Exactly. I don't blame 10-year-old me. I could have been onto something there. I kind of was.
I'm trying to figure out how to color like this part on like your choker.
I
Like,
don't think I don't
or...
think I even drew it accurately to my model on that.
I will just fill it in.
Yeah.
Off-model Kano exclusive.
Okay. That topic of 9/11 lasted so fucking long. That was the longest side tangent we went on the entire time.
I wonder if it lasted longer than the towers.
Oh my god. Okay. How long were the Twin Towers up for? How long did... Lifespan of the Twin Towers.
You don't know.
Lifespan of the Twin Towers. Stood for 28 years, 5 months, and 7 days. 28 years. There's people I know that have lived longer than the Twin Towers.
Hang on, how long did it stand?
28 years and 5 months.
Hang on, let me do the math. Suck it, towers! Booyah!
Okay, that's the most important information I've learned about you this entire interview. You have lived longer than the Twin Towers.
I need to hit the gritty.
Hell yeah. Okay. Next question. Before everyone forgets this is supposed to be an interview.
Never forget.
Never forget. 9/11, never forget. Ooh. Do you have, like, a dream job? Like, outside of, like, VTubing and stuff?
I do actually, and let's see. I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could be open about this. Why not? I don't think it'll hurt. So, in college, I studied psychology. And
That's really
basically,
cool.
the reason I studied psychology is because in high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, no clue at all. So my senior year, I was like, all right, you know what? Screw it. Electives, why not psychology? Let's go for it. So I took psychology that year, and I was like, huh. First of all, this is really easy. Second of all, it's kind of fun learning about this. So I decided, you know what? I was either between theater major or I don't know what else. So I went, you know what? Let's go with psychology. I think it might be more useful than theater. No offense to people that enjoy theater. I love theater. It's just that I didn't quite see that as a viable path for myself. I like doing like acting and stuff. I like really enjoy doing theater in high school, but I don't know. I guess it just didn't feel like the right path for me. So I opted out of that. So I went for psychology. So a couple years of college, I really gravitated to wanting to do some type of therapy. So I'd say, one of my goals is, I want to be a therapist. That is kind
That's
of my
really
dream
cool.
job. Trying to, be a therapist and, I think the phrase is to put up your own shingle and basically kind of run my own practice, I guess, so to speak.
Hell yeah, that's really cool. I also wanted to be a therapist at one point. And then I stopped going to school and lost every job opportunity I had. Now I'm a VTuber.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm kind of hitting a bit of a roadblock of my own, but I'm working through it.
Hell yeah. I feel like, in a way, like... This is kind of weird to say. I don't know how to phrase this. I don't know how to phrase this where I don't sound strange. I feel like, not even just VTubing, but streaming in general, and, like, being a therapist are, like, kind of similar in a way, where you can provide a lot of help for someone when they need it, without you know, even giving direct like help. Like if someone just like is like feeling bad and is like having a bad day or a bad week, and they like watch you and they like smile or like they laugh, whatever, they could probably feel better for like the whole rest of the day or whole rest of the week. And it's like you're doing like you're like helping someone, and it's like you're helping someone feel better in a way. I don't know how to phrase all that, but yeah, that is back to the first question I asked of why, like, and like I answered it, like why we started like streaming and stuff. That has always been my main reason for streaming, is to just kind of make people feel better. And I know it has worked a lot, and that's why I keep doing it, is because I know that, like, I've been told so many times that, like, my streams are, like, people look forward to them, and it helps them when, like, they're having a bad day and stuff. And, yeah. I feel like, yeah. In a way, even though I didn't actually get to be a therapist, I'm still doing what I would have wanted to do. Yeah.
It's interesting because I kind of have like sort of like the opposite sentiment, because like I said earlier, one of the things that I wanted to do VTubing is because I wanted to kind of get that better connection with like myself and try to reconnect that way. And what better way than to kind of just not really avoid entanglements with like the real IRL stuff, but to sort of like go fresh slate and, you know, just kind of leave that baggage behind and kind of just try something new and meet new people. Because I think that one of the limitations of my old job is that I didn't work with people nearly enough. I kind of got stuck in a position that was very ill-suited for what I want for my dream. And I kind of got complacent with, you know, COVID and all that stuff going on. Because that was basically when I started my job, like the year before COVID really blew up.
I see.
So when COVID happened, you know, opportunities dried up. So I got stuck in this position where it paid well, but it wasn't giving me valuable experience where I needed it. So, and I think this is probably the same for quite a few people. Social skills kind of deteriorate too when you are isolated for a long time. So this is also just a really good attempt for me to kind of get back in touch with the more social aspect and, you know, make friends, because that's definitely something I've had trouble with in the past.
Hell yeah.
And I'm glad to say that, considering that I'm here right now, I'm making pretty good strides. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Yippee. Hell yeah. I am very glad you decided to do that so that I could meet you. And yeah. I'm doing a little thumbs up right now because I don't know how to express things. Express being nice to people other than just doing a thumbs up. But hell yeah. Okay. Another question. I think we're at the last couple now. Oh yeah, while we're on this little topic, what is your favorite moment from the entirety of your streaming stuff so far? Like, I wouldn't say like streaming career, but like I guess that's how I'd put it. Favorite moment from streaming so far?
I really enjoyed the Minecraft arc, mostly because I actually got to stop being antisocial and actually start making friends and, you know, just having fun. So the Minecraft arc on the Temperodon server was really fun.
Hell yeah.
And it's just a shame that for me personally, I get bored of Minecraft really easily, so it's difficult for me to just go back and like do stuff.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
it was definitely the highlight.
Hell yeah. I feel like for me too, it's definitely up there with like, dude, I don't know if I could even say that for me, because the majority of Temperodon, I had not been a streamer. I've only done very few Temperodon streams. I think I've only ever done like 3 or 4. But it is definitely a moment in me being Kano that I hold very close, because that's where I met like 90% of my friends currently. And that is where I met like people that I will be friends with for the whole rest of my life. And it's like so many people from Temperodon, I'm like, yeah, this person's sticking with me. This person's up for life for now.
Yeah, in a few ways, I do feel a little guilty because there's a lot of really cool people there that I just haven't had the time to get to know better, just because, you know, full-time job and all that stuff. And not gonna lie, there's still part of me that's pretty antisocial, so to speak. It's something I'm trying to work on.
And that's totally okay.
But yeah, I definitely just kind of need to put myself out there and, more importantly, find the time to do so.
Hell yeah. Grabs you by your neck, you're my friend now. Kano, yeah. Basically what I did with like half of Temperodon that I'm friends with. I just kind of grabbed them up by their necks and just hauled them over, and I'm like, yep, you're my friend now. That being said, do you remember like what our first like interaction was?
If I remember correctly, I think I remember it was like, I don't remember if anyone was streaming or not, or because I remember it was a time where it was you and Q, right?
Okay, yeah.
I think that was because I know I'd seen you on the server before that, but the first time we interacted was like, I think it was you and Q, and then maybe Arashi. Because I remember there was that thing where we were trying to make the pit of death.
Yeah!
Or whatever we called it. Like
yeah!
the leap of faith, I think.
Yes, that is what it was called. The leap of faith. I like totally forgot about that. That definitely
we never
was
really got to
our
use
first
it.
interaction.
But yeah, we built that, and I remember we were talking, and I was thinking, holy crap, I'm talking to someone, and they're cool.
Yippee! I'm cool! Hell yeah. Yeah, I think my my thought process was also pretty much the same there. Oh my god, I'm talking to someone and they're cool.
But yeah, I'm trying to remember what the status of like the server is right now, because I know that, you know, there was some changes to like the server. So I actually don't remember if the Minecraft server is still up or not. If it isn't, maybe I'll see if there's any interest in reviving it.
Yeah. I still haven't finished my goal of getting every single mob as a pet. I've gotten extremely close though. I'm only missing like 3.
I know we have talked like about the idea of doing like either like a talent show or like some type of like competition.
Talk about that. Yeah.
It just kind of fizzled out because well, I'm just gonna say for me it fizzled out because I was busy with like work and stuff.
Same. I was also incredibly busy because the week that was like that we were like talking about that and like that was supposed to happen, like that time period was when I was so on the grind for all my debut stuff. So I didn't really do much other than just work on debut stuff. So that's kind of why it fizzled out for me. What talent will you be showing the chat? My talent for that talent show was supposed to be turning literally anything into a your mom joke. I was gonna ask for like suggestions. I was gonna ask the audience, which is gonna be everyone else there, to give me just a random sentence, random words, random anything, and I would somehow turn it into a your mom joke. That was gonna be my talent.
Man, I'm cooking with like this blood spatter here.
Dude, you are! Dude, that's crazy. Oh my god, you're actually killing it. Wait, I should do that. I should do that on you too. Before I really lock in on that.
There, I think that's perfect.
Hell yeah. That's fire.
Let's see.
Put that in a better spot.
Damn,
so
here I
chat
was
can
thinking
see.
I was not gonna finish in time.
Dude, you're like killing it.
Just need to get back to the regular brush.
Okay. We are narrowing in on the last questions now.
Aww.
What are some goals you have for the future? They can be like content related or not. Just general life goals you have for yourself. For either
Let's
the distant
see.
future or near future or just anything.
Let's see. In IRL, my main goal right now, I want to get into graduate school.
Ooh.
I've been trying the last couple years, but for one reason or another, it's kind of just there have been, things have just gotten in the way. I got close this year. I got waitlisted by the university I applied to, but ultimately they had admitted all the people they wanted, so I got fucked basically.
Oof.
But basically, I'm just gonna keep on trucking, keep trying for next semester, apply to a couple new universities, try and get that goal going.
Hell yeah. That's really cool, actually. Hell yeah.
In terms of streaming and stuff, first of all, I want to get back to actually trying to do it more consistently, because the main reason I stopped recently, because I think the last time I consistently streamed was probably like February and March, because it was around that time I was racking up overtime at my job so I could have enough vacation time to go on my trip to Japan in May. So the main reason I stopped streaming around that is because I was locking in at work.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Japan, I'm not gonna lie, I got depressed as hell. Because Japan was extremely fun, and going back to my job was super depressing.
Mm-hmm. That is totally understandable. That is honestly kind of why I am scared of going on like a big like trip, vacation, whatever like that, where it would be like somewhere I've always wanted to go, like somewhere so cool. That is why I'm scared of that, because I know that when I would come back, I would be totally like distraught, just a mess.
Yeah, I remember on the plane back, I was a mess, but thankfully, my bestie was there, and he provided some really good emotional support.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, main goal: try to stream more often. Doesn't have to be like every week, but I want to try and like at least get a couple days every few weeks. Try to get back on the swing of things.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was something on the tip of my tongue earlier, but I'm blanking. I'm blanking super hard. I guess organizing more collabs is another thing.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Because I do want to play more co-op games with people. Not necessarily stuff like lethal or repo that's already pretty common, but I want to like play like co-op games that I guess I just want to infect people with the games that I like, kind of like how I roped you into playing Dead Rising 2.
Hell yeah.
The only problem is it's convincing people to buy a video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I do want to try and do is I do kind of want to like host like movie nights or watch-alongs or something.
Ooh. That'd be really
Because
cool.
I know we've talked in the past about doing like watch-alongs and stuff, but it's just never like, I don't know. It's like we just had to work with like everyone's schedules and see like who'd be interested. Maybe just make it like a drop-in, drop-out thingy.
I am a big fan of like watch-alongs and stuff, because I don't really watch things ever unless someone watches it with me and drags me into it. That is why the only animes I've ever really watched are ones that I've watched with Robot, because I only really watch things when someone drags me into it. So that's why I'm like a big fan of like watch-alongs and stuff.
All right, definitely. First things first. We need to do like a Star Wars watch along. You need to understand.
For
you need
sure.
to understand the Fortnite's Death Star event that we went through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, kind of tangentially related, one of the things that I've been doing right now is I've been taking all of the Blu-rays I have, and I've been using the Blu-ray player drive on my computer, and I've just been making rips of them. For my own personal use, of course.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, is the winking catching up on the stream?
I wasn't even looking.
Yep, yes it is.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a ton of anime because I don't think you've watched Madoka. Yeah, you just said you didn't watch much anime.
Yeah, I have not watched it.
I think you'd like Madoka Magica.
I think, yeah, you told me before that you'd think I'd like it, and I was like, yeah, I'll write this down, and to be fair, I did. But I never did anything with
we're gonna do a Madoka watch along. That'll be first.
Hell yeah, I'm so down. That would be hella cool.
And then I guess the last thing in terms of like goals, VR streams. I want to do VR streams. Like I've kind of got the setup in OBS ready for like PC VR, but I own a MetaQuest 3, which is like the standalone headset, but you can connect it to your computer. And, you know, those have their own exclusive VR games, and I'd like to play those, but the main issue I've run into is that the MetaQuest has this feature called pass-through, where if you go outside like the boundary that you can play your games in, it will show you like the view out from your camera. So if you play a game and you go outside that barrier, it's gonna show the screen from the game screen to your room.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't figured out a way to disable that yet. So at this point, if I do a VR stream, it's just gonna be PC VR, which, you know, it's fine. I got a beefy enough computer; it'll probably work fine.
Hell yeah. Okay. I think this is going to be our last question for the day. This has been very fun, and I honestly want to keep going forever. But this is our last question.
It's already been 2 hours. Where's the time go?
I'm sure half of it was spent on a 9/11 tangent.
Oh boy. I'm gonna get fucking cancelled.
Okay. Our last question is there any piece of media, it can be literally anything, a game, like a show, movie, anything, that you feel has genuinely changed your life forever?
Let's see. You know, it's funny actually, because I've actually given this a thought a couple times. Because I have a couple different answers, but it's funny because we were literally just talking about it. I'd probably say Madoka, honestly.
Ooh, okay.
And the reason I'm going to go with that answer is because back in high school, I actually remember when it came out, barely. Because it came out in like 2011. So I was like, I want to say like a freshman or sophomore in high school. And I remember at the time, I wasn't a big anime person. Like, I watched like the Pokemon anime on TV. I watched like Yu-Gi-Oh, but I didn't like, I wasn't like a weeb at the time. And I remember going into like the school's anime club, and I remember like the first time I went, they were showing off the first episode of Madoka. And I thought, huh, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. But they never actually showed the rest of the fucking show. Bastards. So, cut a few years later, and I graduate high school, but I still have quite a few friends that are seniors in high school while I started my first year of college. And one of those people, who's now my best friend, he basically did this thing where he called me on Skype throughout the entirety of the summer. Yeah, that's how old this was. He called me on Skype like every day during the summer, and I remember thinking, oh my god, this guy is annoying, but, you know, I was bored, so I answered his calls. And basically, we became really good friends. And eventually, we get to the point where we're hanging out in person. Super Smash Brothers for Wii U came out, and we did this thing where it's like, all right, we're gonna do fight in Smash Bros, and whoever wins is gonna force the other person to watch something. And I remember he beat my ass this one occasion. He's like, okay, you're gonna watch Madoka Magica. And I remember watching the first episode again, and I was like, wait, I've seen this before. And I watched the rest, and it was really fucking good. So basically, just thinking of Madoka really just reminds me of, you know, that friendship and kind of how it's really developed. So maybe it's not really the show, but it has a lot of good memories attached to it.
Hell yeah. That's really
But
cool.
I will say that show is probably responsible for me becoming a massive weeb.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to think of what that would be for me. Something that a media I've consumed very recently that has changed my life a lot already. Honestly, is Licorice Recoil. Which is
that's right.
An anime.
Okay, if you love Licorice Recoil, I think you're gonna like Madoka. It's pretty gay.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Honestly,
maybe not quite as gay, but
all you had to say was it's gay, and I would have said, okay, yep, that sells it for me. Licorice baby, hell yeah! It's definitely more of a recent thing for me. It was the first like full anime that me and Robot watched together. And I have said this a lot, but that week that we watched that was the one of the best weeks ever of my life. But it was also the one where I was going through a lot at the time. I was going through so much that week, but every day, like, as soon as it, like, hit, like, a, like, morning for a robot, I would DM him and be like, so, Licorice Recoil today? Eyes emoji? Lico Rico today? Eyes emoji? Licorice Recoil tonight, Queen? Eyes emoji? And I honestly feel like watching that, kind of got me through, like, kind of a harsh time, and plus it kind of helped strengthen, like, a friendship that I now know will last forever. And honestly, it's something that I look to, like, whenever I'm kind of, like, not doing the best. I honestly, I'm gonna be so real here. Whenever I'm really depressed, I will scroll through, just Licorice Recoil fan art and just be like, man, this show is so cool. And then I regain hope in life again. But another one that Fabi has pointed out in chat is the YouTube horror series Marble Hornets. It has shaped me as a person. My favorite piece of media ever. I watched it when it, I think it was like right when it ended or when it was still ongoing. When I was about 8 years old. I watched that entire thing and I kept up with it. And like every year since then, for the past like 11 years, I have rewatched that all the time. Like, I love it. I've showed it to so many people. I literally, like, sometimes I'll watch things and I'll get really into them for like a little while, and then I just never think of it again. But Marble Hornets, I literally think about this fucking series all the time. I have never let it go. It has stayed like one of my favorite things ever since I watched it, like for the first time. And it honestly has shaped a lot of me as a person, because that is what shaped my entire interest in specifically the analog horror genre, and honestly horror in general, which has shaped my entire, like, creative output. Almost everything I have ever created has been horror based. A lot of my art, specifically, a lot of my writing, literally my entire lore is written like an analog horror.
Yeah, you cooked hard with that.
Thank you. You cooked hard with your voice lines.
Thank you.
But yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how to put my signature on here. I don't even have a signature.
Make one up. That's exactly what I do half the time. I swear I write my signature different every time. But moving on again. I said that was the last question, but I lied. We have another last question.
There you go. Minimum effort.
Hell yeah. And this question is, the last one I asked was, what is something that has changed you as a person, changed your life, whatever. That was something you had to think about, like, think deeply about, into, like, yourself and your life. But this one, you will have to think even more about that. This one is, like, whenever I ask it to people, they kind of just sit and think for a couple minutes. Big question. If I were to push you down a flight of stairs, would you slide like a mattress or fold like a slinky? You have to think deep into yourself as a person for this. You need to think based on everything you know about yourself. Do you think you would slide like a mattress or fold like a slinky? It's a philosophical question. You have to base it on who you truly think you are as a person.
Well, Kano, I have given this a bit of thought, but
Oh, you have?
thinking about it some more now, I've come to kind of flash back through all the times in my life, and I've come to one conclusion. I tend to be pretty clumsy, especially more nowadays. I find myself bumping into things more often, doing very casual trips. I remember one time I was at Anime Expo with a friend doing cosplay, and I like tripped in cosplay.
Oh,
And
I see.
and you know, I literally told you that story earlier, how I literally fell onto my middle finger supporting all
Yeah.
of my weight.
Yeah.
So if you were to push me down a flight of stairs, I don't think I have the dexterity or foresight to minimize the damage and slide. I think I'm going to eat shit and like completely fold and break like my spine or something. It's going to be ugly.
That is a fantastic answer. That is a great answer. Now,
So
for
yeah,
me personally,
if that happens, you're going to kill me.
I personally feel like for you, basing this on the previous answers you've given to all of my questions that have ultimately led up to if you would be a slinky or a mattress, I feel like you would slide like a mattress. You may be
Oh.
very, very clumsy and whatever, but you're a very structured person. You I know that you like work very hard on things that you work on. I honestly feel like you try to structure your life as much as you can. I feel like your goals in life are very structured. They aren't they like I feel like a slinky person would be like, "Oh, my goals are, just wherever the wind takes me." But you have goals that you strive for. You've structured that out. You are dedicated to what you're dedicated to. And I feel like that is pure mattress quality.
Damn, that's pretty insightful. You know, now you have me second guessing myself because I feel like with your analysis based off of like my past, I feel like, that going with the flow type of deal, that used to be me. Like and it can, in some ways it still is, but I definitely am a bit more structured now compared to then. So
Yeah.
damn, you might be on the money there.
It's like you I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. I just had the words and I lost it. You like have your life structured out yourself. You are like, I don't know, you're not like one of those people where it's like you kind of, I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, basically what I said. I feel like you're a very structured person, and you know what you want to do, and it will forever be your goal. You're like part of your goals to do what you want to do.
I just realized you keep saying structured. That makes me think, oh damn, that's just another way of saying I'm a wage slave.
No. No, it is not. That's not what my intention is. That is not what my intention is.
I mean, in that way, my life is structured.
No. Structured as in the way like you know what you like. You have like I've been saying, like you have goals that you want to do, and you will strive to kind of make those goals come to fruition. I'm like basing this mostly on like the things you said about like how you want to like be in like graduate school, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yes. And how that is a goal of yours. And I feel like a slinky person, they might not have a goal as big as that. Or they would have a goal as big as that and be like, oh, like, maybe I won't get there. Or like, maybe like I'll like they aren't certain on it. They're like, oh, maybe I'll do this other thing instead. And it's like, I feel like you want to get there no matter what. You want to get there no matter what it takes. I feel like you're very dedicated to be able to put yourself in that position. I feel like you want to see yourself in that position one day and be like, I strive to be here. And I did get here. And I feel like that is very slide like a mattress.
Damn, you might be right. I think I've just experienced character development in like the span of these like 2 hours and 20 minutes roughly.
I am very honored to be part of that character development. Especially because I kind of don't know shit about what I'm talking about. I'm just saying what I think. Just saying words that come to my brain. But they're words that I truly feel. And I truly with my being believe that if I were to push you down a flight of stairs, you would slide like a mattress.
Awesome. I'm gonna live forever.
Hell yeah. So yeah. Basically the entire interview just led to that. That entire interview was me taking note of your answers and being like, is this slinky core or is this like mattress core?
It's just like a flow chart.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh my god, like those like in those like teenage girl magazines from like the early 2010s, how they had those little charts of like which like movie star boy would be right for you.
Oh no, this just reminds me of like that one episode of Arthur where they find like that magazine Popular Girls, and they like do the quiz. That's just what this is.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
Yeah.
End on a dated reference.
Hell yeah. Well, that was Conversations. That was Conversations episode 2 starring the Lio Felis.
Thank you for having me. I truly enjoyed talking about 9/11 at length.
Honestly, yeah, typical Kano stream in all honesty. I'm still honestly very disappointed that you don't remember 9/11. But you know, I understand.
I wonder how many episodes of this you're gonna do until you find someone that does.
Oh, I just gotta ask older people every time.
Well, I feel bad for them. Or maybe not.
I was gonna say something. No, I'm already too far deep into this. No, this might be mean. No, maybe I shouldn't say this.
That's always the best part.
Oh, I'm in too deep now. I was gonna say I don't think I know many people older than you. But now, God, take into consideration the people I know and my age, and it makes sense.
Fair.
It makes sense.
Fair. It's fair.
I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying that I am young. That is it. That is it.
Look, it's not my fault on like the ass end of like the millennial spectrum.
Yeah.
I just
It's-
barely managed to eke out of getting called a Zoomer my entire life.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Even though half of this was me calling you old and half of this was me talking about 9/11.
And I'm used to it. My best friend always complains about being old, and he's like a year younger. So I get to, I don't know, claim superiority over him or something.
Hell yeah.
So it all works out. I made him buy me a senpai hat.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys in chat for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having a little conversation with us. Thank you. I am going to... Who am I going to raid into, I wonder? Let me see who's live. I'm going to raid into... I'm sure you guys in chat, if you're frequent Kano viewers, you know who Havoc below is. One of my good friends. He's a pretty cool guy. He is currently streaming, and I'm going to send you guys over to him.
Ooh, I don't think I'm following him yet. Good time as any.
Hell yeah! And you guys too, chat. If you're not following him, do it already. If you're not following Lio, go follow Lio already.
Thank you.
Go follow Lio on Twitch and Twitter and anything else that he has that I am unaware of.
That's right. I gotta update like my links because I remember like a while back I mentioned that I had like a YouTube VOD channel and you were just surprised.
Yeah, yeah.
So I gotta update my links, but yeah, I have a VOD channel as well.
Hell yeah.
I'll probably like update like I'll do like one of those like what's that site that people like a C card or card, whatever you call it.
I just call it a card.
Yeah, I'll make like a
It
card.
has one C, it has two R's.
Really?
Yeah!
Why did I think it was two C's?
No, it's two R's, I think.
Is it?
I think.
Am I getting gaslit?
No, yeah, it's two R's.
I'm trying to think. Hey, I need to verify this. You could still be gaslighting me.
No, look it up, man. Look it up.
I'm trying to think who has a... Oh my god, you're right!
I'm right. Hell yeah. Full user, please. I have Leo's Twitch linked in my title. And it is, his username is the same on Twitter, and that's all I know.
You've shattered my worldview.
You're welcome.
I might just give up and make a link tree and like protest.
Honestly, that would honestly, hell yeah. Fire move.
Well, whichever one's easier will win.
Yeah. Okay. Every time I'm like, we should end now, we end up going on another little side tangent. That's how you know this is a banger stream. Okay. I'm gonna actually end for real now. Go follow Lio on everything. And thank you, Lio, for coming.
It's been my pleasure, Kano.
Yippee! I will say too that when I was originally drafting the idea for this series, you were the second name on the list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all for me to say. I'm gonna start the raid now. And now I do my typical end of stream spiel. We're chat. If you guys need to go take a break, if you guys need to go sleep, go take a nap, need to go drink water, go eat a snack or eat anything, go do that. Go get rest if you need to. And, as usual, I don't have a typical raid message. My little raid message, what I tell my people to do when I send them into people, is to just say, like, just tell whoever I'm raiding that you hope they have a good day, that you hope they have a good stream, or, like, compliment something about them, or, like, their, like, design, or, like, their overlays or anything. Just, like, give a little love to someone. That is all I care about. So yeah, you guys do that, and go give a little love to yourself, go do some self-care or whatevs. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the very late birthday karaoke stream that I am terrified for, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because I promised.
You got this. You got this.
Oh yeah. Okay. Bye-bye, chat. Bye-bye.
Bye, chat.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming.